Hello viewers, welcome back to the lab. This is a video that I've been meaning to make for quite a long time, so my apologies that I've not covered this already. So what I want to talk about in this video is the title sequence that you see at the beginning of my new videos. So I'm sure some of you noticed when I started using it, and I think it looks amazing. I think it's a lovely, perfectly in tune, semi-retro but a bit more modern kind of an intro than I was using before. So this wasn't actually made by me. This was created by a good friend of mine, Matt, who runs a production studio in Germany. He had been looking for a very long time to find a Quantel HAL and get one working. He spent a lot of time in the 90s and early noughties working on the Quantel edit box and the HAL, things like that. So those machines were predominantly used to produce animations, program intros, things like that. They're a bit more advanced than a normal paint box because they can do video and audio as well, actually. So he had wanted to get back his HAL because he loved that machine so much. Now, he couldn't find the one that he used to use, but he managed to find somebody who had one in an old studio, and it wasn't being used. And through a little exchange, he arrived home with a very, very large and heavy Quantel HAL. Now, it wasn't working, and that's when he sort of contacted me and said, hey, can you help fix my HAL? Which I did. It was actually a fairly simple fix. It did require Matt to send me some parts over, and I did some repairs. But the crux of the story is we got his Quantel HAL working, and he's now got it, and he can actually use it. And he's been producing quite a lot of really, really cool images and animations on it as he sort of relearns the whole machine. Because he was so delighted that he had his HAL back, he made me the intro on his Quantel HAL, which is absolutely awesome. I mean, the amount of time that this must have taken, because I do know a little bit about how these animations are created, and it's quite a long process. And he obviously spent a lot of time producing that intro. So thank you very, very much, Matthew, for sorting that out for me. There are a few technical things about this intro that I thought it might be fun to talk about. So what I'll do, I'll just have it playing here, just so we can sort of see it. So I've got that on my CRT in 16:9 mode because it was made for widescreen. Obviously on YouTube everything's widescreen. So, of course, some of you out there know a fair bit about old school video, as in it's 625 line video or 525 line video. It's 50 Hertz interlaced or 59.994 if you're in North America or other regions. But that means it's all interlaced, and it's not 50 frames per second, it's 50 fields per second. So because it's all interlaced and stuff, it makes it a little bit of an issue when you're trying to get the best quality out of this old tech. There are things you can do. For example, the Quantel has the ability to render in frames, but then you're effectively only seeing 25 frames per second. And of course you want nice smooth animation when it gets converted into a progressive format to go onto something like YouTube. So one of the little tricks that we can do is if you actually render animations on the Quantel equipment, but actually do it in frame mode, and then double the length of the actual animation. So when you're actually working on it on the actual Quantel equipment, it looks like it's running half the speed than it would be, and that allows you to render a full length clip effectively at 50 frames per second. So that means when it all gets converted onto something modern, it makes it a lot easier to work with, and you get the full resolution and you get the full, and you get a full 50 frames per second of video. So that's one of the reasons why this looks so good. Now the other thing that makes this look especially good, especially at the beginning of the video, is the fact that this is actually upscaled. So we have actually run the raw animation through the Topaz AI upscaler, and it's done a pretty good job, I have to say. So you look at it now and you think, was that really made on a piece of equipment that was 25 years old? But it was. So once Matt had actually made the animation, he sent it to me. I then made some music to put on the front of it. Now for this, I actually used an old bit of software called Acid Music Studio. I just put some tracks together and a few sound effects and stuff to sort of tie in with the whooshing and the thing that travels across the letters and things like that. I thought, yeah, just try and time things up a little bit. And I think that came out pretty well. Hello there. So allow me to cut in during edit. I realised that it would be quite nice for you to actually see a little bit more detail about what I did with the actual music. So I've just got it up here. It loaded into what is this? Acid Music Studio 10. So what this allows you to do is you've got like a library of pre-made loops, tracks and all sorts of things, and you can just sort of assemble it together in a track editor. So if I just run through what I've actually done here, so if I just solo this track, which is it's basically just an ambient background thing. So if I play that, it's just a bit of background kind of audio. So let's solo this track. We'll let it loop round again. So that is obviously just a bit of a fill just to start things off. Then the next track is the main drum loop. So I mean, this does require a little bit of fiddling around to get things like the levels right and all the volumes and all that sort of stuff. So there is a little bit to this. So the next track is the bass loop. I say all these sounds are just things that it was all just supplied with the program. So I've not actually generated any of my own sounds. Next track, the main synth loop. I'm not sure. I think I might have had some effects on some of these. No, there's no effects on there. I'm sure there is some effects on some of these. I can't remember. Anyway, let's carry on going through the list. So this is whoosh in and whoosh out. So one is slightly longer than the other because it takes longer for it to exit out. So that's why that one's slightly longer. And this is the whoosh that you hear when the text goes across the screen. This has got some effects on, so this has got a bit of reverb and stuff on. So let's play that. It's also got a pan on this as well. So when the light effect runs across the text, the pan follows where the light is, so it starts on the left and finishes on the right. Last track is some little stabs that happen when the text actually appears. There's quite a low, subtle noise there. Yeah, just a bit of reverb on that, just to soften it off, and just sort of set it in the background so you don't really notice it that much. So if we unsolo that, we have the whole thing. So that's how the music was done. So anyway, back to Mark. Now after Matt had actually made the video, he then went and had his Quantel HAL there with all the raw bits of animation on, and he actually made a video about how he made all the effects and things in this on his Quantel. So that is on YouTube, so there will be a link in the video description to go and watch that. I would highly recommend you watch and subscribe to Matt's channel. He's producing some exquisite artwork on his HAL. Now he has it running again. It would be great for you to be able to see some of his work and what you can actually do with these machines. So thanks very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this one. Go and watch Matt's video, you'll certainly enjoy it, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.